Hi, so welcome to today's lunchtime session. And for the first practice, you might like to have two small objects with you, and it can be anything at all. I quite like doing it with something that has quite an interesting texture. So I've, for example, got a pine cone and a stone that's got a bit of weight to it. But we're just going to be exploring the sense of touch, and you can do that with any object at all. Um, and then we'll do a second practice, which is going to be exploring the breath. So I'll guide us through that for the second half. And they're roughly equal lengths with a short pause in between. So to begin, finding a meditation posture that feels right for you today. So you can be sat, you can be lying down, you can be standing. Closing your eyes if you're comfortable to do so, or just keeping a soft gaze. And perhaps in this pause, just recognizing how you are at the start of the practice. Just practicing non-judgment about your experience. You might notice things like whether your mind is quite busy or whether it's quite quiet. Or having an awareness of any emotions that might be with you. And then for a few breaths, perhaps centering your attention on your breath, noticing where in your body you're most aware of the movement of your breath. Just bringing a gentle but very particular attention to each in-breath and each out-breath. This first practice will be exploring sense of touch as a way of bringing us into the present. So our senses are a very direct way of accessing what is happening around us. To begin with, I'm just inviting you to pay attention to the sense of touch between your feet and the ground. And if it feels okay, you could even move your feet slightly just to increase the sensation there. Just using this physical contact between your feet and the ground, just to focus yourself on something that's happening right now. Perhaps having a sense of the support from underneath your feet. Maybe a sense of groundedness from the earth. And moving your attention to the back of your legs, and depending on your position, just noticing if there's any contact between your legs and whatever you're sat or lying on. Just paying attention to the pressure, the weight of your body into the surface underneath you. Using this sense of touch to guide yourself into the present. If you are standing, there might not be a sense of touch with your legs. You might just notice the absence of touch. Noticing the contact in particular from your hips into the chair, the bed, whatever you're resting on. Again, just allowing this support from underneath. And just noticing any sense of touch in your upper body. So, depending on your position, your back may or may not be in touch with a piece of furniture, a bed, or the back of the chair. Just scanning, perhaps noticing any sensation of your clothing, perhaps on your shoulders. We're going to gently move towards the sense of touch with the objects that you have with you. Perhaps just picking one up. And if you're comfortable, just perhaps keeping your eyes closed so you can really tune into the sense of touch in particular. And starting to explore the texture of the object with your fingers. Bringing a sense of curiosity. It might be an object you're very familiar with. Seeing if you can imagine that this is the first time that all of the different nerve endings in your fingers and your hands have felt the object. Be noticing its temperature, if it's might be cooler than your body temperature, or it might be warmer, be the same. Noticing if your object has areas of smoothness or perhaps areas that are a little more textured. And just using this as a anchor, a place to focus. If If you've got more than one object, you might switch to your second object. You're noticing the differences between the first and the second. And then at a certain point, just allowing your hands to be still, but keeping the object resting in your palm. It might be one of your objects, it might be both, one in each hand. And in stillness, just recognizing the contact, your palm, your fingers in stillness, holding the object. So just as you might have noticed the weight of your body into the surface underneath, or your feet into the ground, just noticing the weight of the object into your hands. It might be quite light, or it might be a much more definite weight. Spending a few moments like this, just practicing non-doing, just being here, being relatively still. You might still have a gentle awareness of your breath, an awareness of these objects in your hand, a sense of touch. And noticing anything that happens in your mind or your body when you practice being still. Noticing just being here without anything to do. Be noting in particular any sense of stillness if that's present for you. Then we're going to gently come towards the end of this first practice. There's no rush. You can just keep your eyes closed for now if you like, but bringing some gentle movement into your body. Perhaps on an out breath, if your eyes are closed, gently opening them. And we'll just have a bit of a break for a minute or so, just to reset. Feel free to change your position, have a drink, stretch. Okay, so the second practice is a breathing practice, and I've borrowed from polyvagal theory the idea that a longer out breath can help to shift us into a more safe way of feeling for our nervous system, um, and shifting out of any sense of kind of fight or flight that might be present. And I wanted to kind of bring some of the attitudes of mindfulness to exploring that. So I was going to first just start with observing our breath, and then almost like an experiment, seeing what happens if we start to lengthen our out breath, and noticing really without judgment whether we do start to feel more calm, more still, an increased sense of safety and calm. And kind of noticing if you have any striving to feel more calm, maybe just recognizing that's going on, if that is happening, and any other judgments. It really is that we're kind of doing an experiment and observing what happens in our experience with our breath, and how we feel as a result. So again, so for this, yeah, you can be sat, you can be lying down, standing is also okay. And if you're comfortable, again, closing your eyes or just keeping a soft gaze. And to begin, just paying attention to how your breath is at this point. You're not changing anything. Just noticing the qualities of your breath, whether it's shallow, whether it's deep. Whether it's a fast breath or a slower breath. Noticing any thoughts that might be around, and then coming back to the very pure sensations of the breath moving in the body. And I expect we're all breathing at different rates. I won't count the breaths, but just noting for you whether your in breath and your out breath are maybe of equal lengths, or if one is longer than the other. And then inviting you to start to lengthen your out breath. So however long your out breath is to start with, just making it a little bit longer in each cycle of breathing. Still bringing your awareness to the full duration of the in-breath as you breathe in, and paying attention to this out-breath, gradually just lengthening it, nothing too forced. Just a long, slow, smooth exhale. Noticing if there's anything happening in your mind, any thoughts, any judgments. And then see if you can bring your attention, just to restart, noticing your in-breath and paying attention to a longer, slower out-breath. And one way to do this is to use some counting. So I won't count out loud so I don't distract you from your own rhythm, the breath. You can try breathing in for a count of 5, breathing out for a count of 7. So breathing in and counting to 5 and breathing out and counting to 7, just to make your out breath a little longer. Again, just can have a gentle awareness of what happens in your mind, your body, any emotions. And then see if you can just gently, no force needed, just guiding it back. These in breaths for a count of 5 and an out breath for a count of 7. Trying to treat it as a experiment, just some curiosity. How do you feel if you breathe in this way? It might be calming, but there might be other experiences too. So just welcoming them all, no judgment. No need to do anything that's uncomfortable for you or feels too forced. So yeah, just making choices that feel okay. And we're going to stay with the breath in this way for a little longer, giving time to deepen the experience. So in breath for a count of 5, and an out breath for a count of 7. Paying attention to what happens as we do this. If anything is difficult in our experience, bringing compassion, altering the practice if you need to. Perhaps taking note again of your internal state, just as we did at the beginning of the session. Noting if there's been any change from breathing in this way. For example, you might feel calmer, you might feel stiller, more centered, but you might feel other things. Could be frustration, boredom, anything at all. So just observing gently. Need to be a certain way. Seeing if you can come back to this breath. Each breath is an opportunity to begin the practice again. New, fresh moment, new breath. And seeing if you can just relax the intention to make the out breath longer and letting go of that and just observing your breath, so letting it find its own rhythm. And you might notice, is your breath deep or shallow? Has that changed from the start of the practice? Is the movement, if there is any, light in the belly as you breathe? To bring the two practices together, maybe just bringing a sense of touch into this breathing practice. So might be a hand on your belly, just feeling that ebb and flow of the movement of your breath. Or it might be a hand on your chest. You'll be noticing in particular any sense of soothing or comfort that this touch may bring. Allowing the hands to rest once more. Letting go of the awareness of the breath and allowing a few moments just to be here. No need to do anything in particular at all. Observing with a more spacious awareness anything that's happening in your mind, your emotions, or your body. And I'll gently guide us towards the end of this second practice, but again, there's no rush. You can keep your eyes closed for now. Perhaps once more, just paying attention to the contact between your body and whatever you're resting on, just to bring a sense of contact into your everyday surroundings. Might move or just shift your weight slightly, noticing the change of pressure. Perhaps bringing some bigger movement into your body. Maybe a stretch feels good. And then taking 3 deep breaths in your own time. And on your third out breath, gently opening your eyes. Thank you.